What's up, guys? My name's TechnoTuner, and today, well, we're just going to take a quick look at the ban list. I know this is a little bit late coming out, but I wanted to at least go over it and address what I think the next upcoming decks will be based off of this, let alone how does this impact the current meta and what we're actually going to be seeing. So overall, right off the bat, we're going to go ahead and start a look at the Forbidden list. So what we see here is a banned Moon of the Closed Heaven, Splash Mage, King of the Feral Imps, and number 67 Paradise Smasher. I don't think this will really affect too much just going off of this, as you would think. It does prevent more decks from playing the Fiendsmith engine because it was very heavily utilized using Moon of the Closed Heaven. However, that doesn't mean that there isn't any other options, such as Burning Abyss being able to run the Jin rank 3 to just go into Requiem and utilize those by getting more effects into the graveyard. That could be another way for that deck to play around it, as an example. But Splash Mage is a huge hit towards Malice because that does knock down the actual power of the deck to where it can't keep recurring stuff back and forth just to continue its plays up into a Link 3. King of the Feral Imps, this was being seen anyways. Was more than sure this was going to get hit anyways, because they don't want Mitsurugi going into everything. Mitsurugi, Ryzeal, and Mitsurugi basically anyway having into a rank 4 for King of the Feral Imps, just getting that online was just opening up full capability for the Mitsurugi line to come in, and you have a negate or interaction in which that just really worked out. Number 67, Paradise Smasher. I'm so glad to see his ban. That card is toxic as all get out. It is basically just prevent your opponent from playing or doing anything. You're just sitting there waiting for your opponent to just kill you anyways. You might as well scoop and go to next turn unless you have a way around it. But that card is just not fair, or let alone fun for the entire meta unto itself. And it does hurt Vanquish Soul's lockdown capability as it was needed. It didn't come up very often, but there were a couple people that I've played against that have dropped it on me, and I have to say it was not fun overall. All right, so that's all for the Forbidden. Let's take a look at the Limited section. So for Limited, we got X Ryzeal, Malice P. Dormouse, Vanquish Soul Rosin, Fiendsmith Lacrima, Link Karibo, Summon Sorceress, Herald of the Arclight, Zodiac Trident, Crystron Inclusion, Obedient Schooled, Stake Your Soul, and Solemn Judgment. I understand why they hit X Ryzeal and Malice P. Dormouse, because they're basically like, hey, here's Justice Hunters, play these. We want you to buy our product so you can compete. But at the same time, it just, the decks weren't even really doing much, let alone seeing any real play outside of locals. And those were actually just those for the people that could only afford those decks, really. Vanquish Soul, I hate saying it. I feel like Rosin and Stake Your Soul was a little bit too much of a hit. They could have put it to 2. I do like pure Vanquish Soul, but if you're playing pure without the Canine now, it's really bad. Mainly because you can't find one of your main two of your main searchers, in all honesty. But it's going to feel rough and really bricky if you get Holly Sue with Rosin in hand, or just trying to get a fire target outside of Zhylong. It's going to feel really awkward. Fiendsmith's Lacrima, that was coming back, of course, because time rules are changed. Link Karibo. I am so glad to see this card come back, not alone just for the Karibo players, but for the other players that like to play Link 1s or level 1s, such as my Drytron deck, even though it got hit in another way. But Drytron can finally utilize Link Karibo. Snake Eyes can utilize Link Karibo. That's going to be helpful. Summon Sorceress with the errata text. I don't personally feel like it's going to do a lot. I mean, overall, it's not going to do much, in my personal opinion, against your opponent and whatnot. We'll see how that turns out. The text does read very nicely, and it's very easy to follow, so I will state that for at least. Herald of the Arclight. I understand Konami, but why? Why are we hitting ritual decks out of left field outside of the whole yummy case? Just, I can't win. A Drytron deck just gets hit in one random way or another, and it's a bit irritating. Love the ritual aspect of it. But if we're not going to be able to have Herald of the Arclight, can you please give us something that we can utilize to get more rituals up and running? At least. I know it's an extra deck monster, but it was very utilized. Because now if it just gets hit off a Cash Tier Unicorn or really anything else, it just kind of, well, you don't have the ritual spell or a way to get it, you're kind of out of luck. Dryden, I'm so glad to see that card back. In all honesty, it didn't need to be on the ban list for a while. We just had Detonator, which does more than Dryden. Dryden's just the, I would say, probably the version 1 of that card, where basically during the time in which it was powerful and True Draco, Zodiac format, that was really powerful during that time, but the game is sped up so much, it really doesn't make much sense for Dryden to be on there at all. Crystron inclusion, I guess, because Crystron K9, okay, they can still cycle it back. Crystron inclusion's a cool card in general, but it's just, I can understand the hit. Doesn't, so I guess that means Cyber Dragon K9 is more the top deck you want to really play with that. Just for consistency's sake. Trying to think of another one they can do. They didn't really hit Draco Tail from what I'm seeing at all, which is insane because that's probably one of the more represented decks along with Yummy. But I can see they hit Obedient Schooled, which makes perfect sense because that cuts down on, well, you have no interaction. I'm going to special summon 3 Yummy cards from my main deck. Like, that's just a +3 overall. Because, one, you get to link off and continue your plays, but it puts you so far ahead that it's just insane for the Yummy deck and overall. Stake Your Soul, I'm assuming the reason why they hit Vanquish Soul so much is because it won Worlds. That usually does happen. I mean, look at what happened to Yubel for a while. I'm going to say give it a year or two. It'll be back. At least Rosin or Stake Your Soul. They'll put one of the two back to 3 or even 2. Solemn Judgment. I'm just curious. Why Solemn Judgment? It didn't really do much. Yes, it was being ran in a lot of rogue decks or stun decks like Odeon or Runic or what's the card called? Morganite Stun. But those weren't really seeing much competitive play, so I'm kind of curious as to why they hit Judgment of all of them. Okay. It just doesn't make sense to me. I can understand these main ones up here, like the X Ryziel, the Malice P Dormouse. I don't understand the whole thing towards just Solemn Judgment. Vanquish Soul, Rosin, and Stake Your Soul, I'm more than likely sure it's because of the Win World's curse. So they got to hit it harder. All right. Enough of me rambling on about the limit section. Let's move on to the semi-limits. And there isn't much. Just glad to see Branded Fusion back. For all my Branded players out there, you have an extra Fusion summon now. Draco Tail Branded looking a little bit more interesting right now. Because you can run different variants with that now. Whether you're running a small Branded engine or just running Draco Tail with Branded with Draco Tail in it. I'm glad to see his card back. No, honestly, you're probably bringing it back now because of the structures that are coming out soon, but who knows? And finally, the Unlimits. So, for the Unlimits, okay. So, there's Glow Up Bulb. Okay, that's just for Killer Tune. We already know that's coming soon. Masterpiece, the True Draco Slaying King. That's not going to do anything by itself. Yes, you have a Towers. Big whoop. Everything can beat over it. Morphing Jar, okay, that's not doing anything. Phantom Sky Blaster, Time Rules are gone. I can understand why that's gone to 3. Ashen Poplar, Snake Eye hasn't been doing anything, so I can understand that. People are probably going to now try Snake Eye Yummy, if, but you know, their own. Dragonic Diagram. Ooh. So we might be able to see True Draco's Zodiac hmm, or True King Dino. That would be really cool. Lithosagam coming back, being able to banish cards out of the extra deck, really hurting Yummy, hitting other cards that you really want to see. That's gonna force a lot. Because I wasn't thinking they were gonna bring back both at the same time. Hmm. Okay. That's gonna be cool, actually. I'm really excited for that. We can see a True Draco Zodiac deck again, too. Because I'm seeing Barrage here. Dang. Okay. So that's gonna be fun. Because the deck's mainly normal summon anyways. And then we get Lightning Storm back. I mean, people have just been playing it on and off at 2 anyways. It wasn't really seeing main deck capability. Makes sense. Not a lot of back row decks right now, unless they're planning on releasing one soon. Don't know. But that's going to be fun overall. Like, this is a really big list. Like, dang, man. This is the most they've done in a while. This is feeling like TOS format all over again. Okay. So, for thoughts on this, Malice and Ryziel are really taking some hits here, but they're also seeing some innovation here as well, where Malice is not going to be able to keep depending on Dormouse and Splash Mage to get him through. If you are a Malice player, you will, if you don't already know your combos, you will have to know your combos and how to play it, because if not, I have a feeling like one hand trap is just going to kill you anyways outside of Lancia, but that will take some higher skill level. But I feel like it could be competing still if it's just in higher level tiers, maybe regionals. Ryziel, given that with Zodiac back, we could probably see a Ryziel Zoof deck come out of this, which could be very interesting. Yeah, you got X to 1, but that doesn't really hurt you overall, because you have ways of cycling it back into the deck, so that's a possibility. True Draco Zoo, that deck is that's going to be a wild card along with True King Dino. Those two are going to be completely out of the blue, and you will probably see them at locals, in all honesty, because they're pretty cheap and they're fun to play. Oh crap, you can play the original, well, almost the original Danger Thunder deck from 2019, 2018 too. Huh. Because Sky Blaster's back to 3. All the other cards are almost back to 3, if not already. So that'll be interesting to see as well. Snake Eyes, that's back. I don't think it's really going to matter. They don't have OSS, and they can't really go into Fiendsmith. So it's either going to be Snake Eye Kashtira or Snake Eye Yummy. That's all I can really see out of that. But out of that, it just still leaves Yummy in the top decks. You're going to see more Crystron K9 or Cyber Dragon K9. I feel as the time goes by. So, power level wise overall, the top 3 decks I'm still seeing are Draco Tail, Yummy, K9. Doesn't matter. The variants, it's still going to be those 3 that you're going to see mainly at locals, regionals, and YCSs. As for random wild cards that you're more likely going to see coming out of this is people trying to play True Draco, whether it be True Draco Eldritch, True Draco Stun, True Draco Zodiac, anything like that, along with Dino, True King Dino, or really anything along those lines. I can see where people might. Okay. Branded is definitely going to be back. It's more likely going to come back to, especially a local scene. That's an extremely cheap deck overall that you would see just come back and be able to play. Especially for a beginner deck, that is very easy to pick up. Link Rebo coming back to 1. That enables so much for potential Link climbing decks for level 1. So Yummy gets another tuner, technically, off of Link Rebo, while getting a battle drop their attack to 0. That's going to be nice for him as well. It's just, We might see an uptick in people playing Fiendsmith Magical Musket, given we have Lacrima back as a way to recur and go into our rank 6 play. So that'll be fun too. I'm looking forward to this format. It's looking a lot more diverse overall because we're more likely going to see Malice, probably in regionals. Ryzeal. Ryzeal is going to be the more wild card aspect because dependent on the format as it unfolds and how things go, this is going to be very interesting to see. Like I said, the main three that you're going to see are Dracotail, Yummy, and K9. That's a definite. Your rogue picks are going to be Ryzeal, maybe Malice, True King Dino, and True Draco variants and Zodiac form variants, like Zodiac Tri-Brigade, because Tri-Brigade also has some stuff. We have the new set coming out here soon for Doom of Dimensions, so Doom Z as the new archetype, along with DDD. That's going to be very interesting to see overall. Then we're also getting like some legacy format stuff, such as Goki, which I'm excited for. I'm a huge Goki player. That deck is just all about getting big link monsters and punching. But with them getting a fusion, that's going to help them out a lot as well. Man. Odeon's still in here. That's probably going to be a rogue deck because that doesn't really hurt it that much. What are they going to do? Just play Anubis at 1 or more now main deck? Filled up with more hand traps? Yeah, that's basically it. All right. Anyways, guys, I know it wasn't much going through this, but I hope y'all did enjoy my take on what I think was going on with the ban list. If you did, go ahead and leave a like and subscribe. I will try to get this out as soon as possible. But you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you all in the next one.
Is it okay if I'm to say I'm catching feelings from all the dealings? Am I astray? What do you say? How are you feeling? Is it the same?